Guys, welcome back to Silver 1 Zerg. Question of the day right now is, can you lose for over macroing? And the answer is yes. You can. But the answer also is, I would rather see you die like that than die because you just don't macro at all and you don't have anything. Because you will win way more games that way. See? I made a drone. Game ended. Okay. Moving on. This might be a quick Zerg. This might be a quick Zerg. This might be quick. Excuse me. The Zerg price. I do not have one scheduled yet, my dude. What's up, Bradbot? How you doing, man? What's up, dude? Uh-oh. Okay, so yeah, we are we're doing it. We are doing it. Okay, we got another ZVZ. Another ZVZ. Am I still getting stream sniped? Maybe. I don't know. Today will tell. Time will tell. Let's scout this guy's base. Okay. And now let's get ready to take our natural guys. Okay. SD, 5 SD, 5 SD. We can even hotkey our Overlord. That's all good. 5 SD, 5 SD. Here's what we can do with our Overlord too. Here's a little tip, okay? Let's say you forget about your Overlord all the time. Go like this. Click here, shift click, back here. This is a ZVZ, so we want to put our Overlord in a safe spot where it's not going to get killed by a queen. And we are also going to scout potential move outs. Okay. We're gonna go for a 16 hatchery. If you take a 17 hatchery, I don't care, it's fine. For now. We'll talk about builds later. But I'm taking a 16 hatchery this game. And we're making a drone again. We're gonna make another drone. And we're in another drone. And now we're gonna make a pool. A spawning pool. Now, this is really just to see, does he have a natural? And then we're going to back up to a safe spot. Okay? So again, that's what that goal is. That's all we care about is, did this guy expand? Or is he about to send lings at my base and one base my ass? Those are important things. Still making drones. At 20, let's go ahead and throw down our gas. Okay. Throw our gas down. We're good. And we can throw an Overlord down. Let's put our Overlord like right in front of our base. And now let's grab this Overlord because we just made a new one for there. Grab this one and send it to the other opening of the Zerg's base. So as you can see, this Overlord is going to go here, which it's going to scout the natural and then cover the bottom ramp, or the top ramp rather. Okay. I just got to saturate my base really fast. Make a couple of queens and we'll talk about scouting a little bit more. Make drones. We're good. So my other Overlord is going to come down here. Down to this spot, so if the lings go like this along the bottom side and run down this way, I'll see it with this Overlord, or if he goes for a third base right here, I will see it with this Overlord. We can see he expanded, so we don't have to worry about making a spine, and that's all we care about. That's the only thing we care about. We're good. This Overlord will go back here now, and build is now as is normal. It's now a normal build. Now you guys heard me talk about how whenever you play against like Protoss and Terran, you can make Overlords fill in these gaps. Do something different against Zerg. Against Zerg, what we'll do is instead of filling in the gaps on the sides, we're going to fill in the center, okay? Because what you want to do is you want to have, like, the goal here is maybe like 5 Overlords throughout the map in the middle somewhere that are going to reveal if he moves out on you or not. So you don't have to rely only on one Overlord seeing it. So, like, this would be another great spot for an Overlord. Because this way we could see the ramp, we could see all this stuff around here if he comes that way. Stuff like that. Also, because he expanded, we can also start a third base. Why not? If he expands, we can totally start a third. And then we can go into a roach horn right after. So here comes our third. Drones are fully made. We have no larva sitting there. Let's go and grab a drone and make a roach horn out of it. And we can also make an Evo chamber. And the reason why we did this, once again, is if you guys remember from last series, or from last video, in Silver 2, I think it might have been Silver 1, Silver 2, whatever, it doesn't matter. The previous video we made, we talked about how if we scout a natural, we'll take a third. If we don't scout a natural, we'll stay on 2 bases. Worst case scenario, this outer base dies, who gives a shit? It's not that big of a deal. Okay, so now my roach horn is about to finish. So let's go ahead and get ready to make some roaches. Saturate my gases as well. 3, grab 1, take it off, because we had 7. So we just made 5 roaches. We're looking for 3 more, or 4 more, or 5 more. Doesn't really matter. There's 3 more. Okay, they're perfect. That's all of our larvae. So now, let's just go back to droning. It's totally fine. We can inject, we can creep, and then we can send this queen to our next base to become an injector as well. Creep, creep, upgrades. Now we're saturating that 3rd base. We will make more roaches if he attacks me. If he does not attack me, we will not care. We will not care otherwise. Yo, Juan, thank you for the raid. What's up, dude? What up, boys? Currently making some super sweet Silver League videos. Hello, guys. Welcome. Welcome to the BGM. All right, so now we are, you know, we're just going into that drone phase. How many drones we at? We're at 55. We're almost there. This base is fully saturated almost. Let's go and take a 4th base, because that is always how this works. When your base is pretty much close to saturation, just start a new one. Let's go ahead and start another upgrade, and start an upgrade for hydras. It does not matter where you put these buildings. They could all be stacked right here. They could be in the front. I actually, yeah, for now it doesn't matter, but in general, in the future, we'll talk about this. We'll talk about it in Gold League. Silver League, placement doesn't matter. In Gold League it will. Don't worry about it yet. For Zerg. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and inject. How many drones we at? We're at 67. Let's make another round. Okay, now we're at 78. We're about done. Let's keep making that creep, boys. Keep making that creep. Let's rally all my bases to this, and let's take another base, because we're fully saturated. And we could totally die to a roach all-in right now. I bet a lot of you are probably freaking out, being like, dude, you could fucking die. You could die, dude. And yeah, I agree. We could. But are we? No. We're not dying. You know why? It's because most people just don't macro. Most people just, they mess it up here and there. They don't respect it. They don't respect the macro. They don't respect it. Now we're at 82. Now we make mass hydras. Just like before. This is ZVZ. This is something we're going to change in the next upcoming leagues. We're going to alter it a little bit, have it make more sense. But for now, again, it's still just understanding the concept of making workers. You can see with our overlord. We're not going to even move our overlord. It's fine. If it dies, it dies. Inject my bases. Shift inject too if you have stacked up energy. So you can queue up injects multiple times. Take a couple of gases. Make some hydras. Okay, now we just injected 2 so we can creep spread. Creep, 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 creep. Creep, 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 creep. Throw another creep tumor down up here. And like another one over there. Now let's check our bases as we always do. Make sure the mining is efficient. And like you hear that, mineral field depleted, boys. We'll inject first. Make hydras. Grab drones. Okay, so mineral field's good now. Perfect. Perfect. Needs a couple more. Perfect. 80 drones are still being efficient right now. Awesome. Well done. Look at my upgrades. Okay, we can start one here. This one's going still. Let's go ahead and get an infestation pit. Grab one drone as well to take it off to fix the saturation. And we can even make one new drone because we just spent one to put it back to this mineral line over here. Good stuff. Inject. 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 Let's go ahead and get our second hydra upgrade. And spread some creep. 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 Crepe. 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 And crepe. And look at the max, guys. What did we just hit? 920s are a goal, and we just hit like an 845 max. And the reason why is because nothing happened this game. This guy did nothing to deviate us, so it went great. Things went amazing. Things were wonderful. So let's go ahead and start a hive. Let's inject one more time. And let's go ahead and move his base. We'll go third base, shift, natural, shift, main. Do not stop macroing now. Okay, it's important. We can go ahead and start another base because our bases are going to continue to mine out pretty quickly. Our natural's probably about to start drying out in the near future. Like, well, this patch has 40 minerals on it. So we'll go ahead and inject, and we can creep. Look at my supply as well. While we're creeping, just make your larva. Select hydras. Cool. We just held the key down. Creep. 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 And creep. Make hydras. Awesome. Things are going great. Let's go ahead and take a couple more gases at my next base. And let's make a couple more drones because we're about to lose a couple drones. Okay. Now, same shit again. Grab the drones. They're oversaturated. Send them down somewhere new. Inject. Grab the drones. Send them somewhere new. Go to my third base. Inject. Okay, upgrades are done. And hive is also done. So now we can go 3-3. Easy peasy. Easy enough, right? Easy enough. Now just keep the economy going. What's the drone count at? 82. That's solid. What's my minerals looking like? They're all these patches are looking pretty nice. Pretty good, pretty good, pretty good. Nothing's really looking too bad. And how about we just go ahead and select my whole army and move his base one more time because we have a whole new army chilling up here. It's just chilling. Send it over. Send it on over. And keep doing the same thing. Just check the economies. This base is fresh. This base is fresh. We don't need to worry right now about making another base yet because we have too many open fresh bases, so we can chill for a second here. We're fine. We can inject, and just keep making hydras if we can. If we can't make hydras, let's creep spread. Creep. 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 GG. And a creep. Okay. So, easy enough, right? Easy enough, right? So, again, someone asked me when I started this video today, like at the very beginning, at the very start of this game, basically, is there a thing where you can macro too much and die? And the answer is totally yes. You totally can die by macroing too much, because if your opponent goes for a timing, you totally could die. But the way this build is designed, where you go 2 base, you have an overlord in front of his base, and you are... you make your roaches after 2 base saturation, you will see a move out with your overlord if it's a 1 base all in. And you also see a late natural or no natural. You'll see indicators that make this a thing, which is why we scout with our first overlord. So that seeing that he expanded normally puts a nice it puts like a nice what's it called? Just feeling out there for us to be like, yeah, we're fine. We can totally drone 2 bases. And then when we start a 3rd base and we make the, you know, the 8 roaches or 10 roaches with it, if this guy were to attack me and I see him crossing the map with my overlords, which is why we spread them out. If I were to see him crossing the map with overlords, there is a very high chance, even if I was droning this whole point, that off of the initial 10 roaches that I have, or 8 roaches that I have, I could start making more roaches and I could still defend his timing in this window of time. Higher level players will punish you more for things like this because you'll start having to do things like use speedlings, scout, get better reads and stuff like that. But that starts happening around Masters League, kind of around Diamond. In the lower leagues, this really doesn't happen because what we're gonna see here, just watch this, okay? Watch the harvester count. We're gonna look at things, at differences of our builds, and we're gonna see whose build is efficient in general. Just efficiency of build is always kind of missing somewhere in lower leagues. Yo, Soap and Shampoo, thank you very much for the sub. The Prime, welcome. Thank you. But check out the worker count, okay? And the supply. So far, so good. It's pretty close so far. And now it's starting to dip. It's starting to dip in our favor. And we'll look at it really fast and say, why is that? And I feel like the reason why that is because, look at the queens. There's a missed inject on the queens. Like you can see the inject just started recently. There is definitely a missed inject now. If this queen is ready to inject again and this inject just started, there has been a missing inject now. So that's 30 seconds of time that has not been injected on the hatchery. And then on top of that, yeah, everything is almost very similarly timed. The inject is the big one. If he would have injected a little bit more efficiently there, we would have been fine. Or he would have been fine. The gases are fine. They're tiny. I would say the gases are a very tiny bit early, it looks like. Because we only have... But then again, it wouldn't look as early as if there was an inject. His build is fine. It just missed inject. We'll just say that, okay? It's good enough. It just... The inject fucks you over so bad. So it's again, coming up here and learning your priorities, right? Developing your habits. Your priority... We'll look at and see what he's doing really fast. Because we know what we were doing. All we're doing is staring at our hatcheries. Injecting, 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 injecting. That's literally all we're doing. Let's look at his really fast. And see what's going on. Just for a second. So you can see right here, this is the moment where things start going wrong. We'll have it on normal. There is, like, the camera is moving up and down. We can see that he is focused on the base, but he is also focused on probably thinking about things like, okay, maybe his brain is thinking about the game in a way where it goes, I'm at a certain amount of supply, or I'm at a certain time, or I am at a certain amount of drones on my natural. I need to make my gases, and I need to make my Rotoran, and I need to make my Evo chamber. That is probably what I imagine is going on through this person's brain, right? It's not that, I'm not saying that's bad, okay? That's not bad. But what that is that is higher level. That is higher level thoughts. This is not silver thoughts. This is what fucks everybody up in low leagues. I'm not even kidding. Which is why when everyone asks me, ViBE, what's the build? What's the build, ViBE? I'm like, no. No, listen here, bro. The build doesn't matter to you because if I tell you things like at 35 supply, make X thing, make this structure. What if that person who is low league does not spin their larva as good as someone else, and their 35 supply is actually my 43 supply because they're not as efficient as I am? It throws the whole build off. It doesn't make any sense. Just like how if I were to tell someone at 3 minutes and 23 seconds, let's make gases, it doesn't make any sense because what if my 323 is somebody else's 350? Because they're not as efficient. So telling someone a build order when they're struggling to macro by default develops a bad habit because it makes their brain focus on something that doesn't matter yet. It literally doesn't matter. What all that matters is understanding what's important. That's all that matters. And what is important is your larva and spinning that shit as fast as you can. Number one way to spin your larva as fast as you can is try your best not to supply block. So what does this mean? How do you do that? You develop a habit where your eyes go like this. Eyes, 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 eyes. This is where you look, literally, repeatedly. You look at your saturation, you look at your queen, you look at your supply. Look at your queen, look at your saturation, look at your supply. You just keep bouncing this. This develops a good habit. It's called maintenance. It makes you have good fundamental gameplay. It creates a well-rounded maintenance of your build. And then you can learn a build. And you won't miss things. You won't be like, ah, damn, I missed an inject for fucking 2 minutes. You just need to develop a good habit. Yo, poop butt. Thank you very much for the sub. I appreciate the prime. Welcome, dude. But yeah. So, like, again, right now, I guarantee this person is getting caught up on the build order, and they're totally neglecting the inject. Because they're like, shit, okay. I gotta gas, and then I gotta go roach one evo chamber. Okay, I gotta get that going, and maybe
Made another queen.
what else? Okay, I think I got it, and wait, no, the evo chamber. Like it's just too much distracting. And then if you look at this really fast, look at the larva. We have also 4 larvae sitting there. We have 4 larvae chilling right now. We have no additional larvae being generated in terms of injects. So now we have a 6 drone deficit already, which is huge. Double gas is okay. I don't mind his gas. I don't mind the buildings. The only thing I do mind is that he has missed an inject now on both hatcheries, and he's also not actively spinning the larva that he has. That's huge. That's so massive. Yo, Jawa, thank you very much, man, for the sub. 17 months. Appreciate you, baby. But anyways, we'll move on now. We'll keep it going. Because we also have gas as well, and pool. The drone count is still... It's catching back up a bit, which is a bit better now. What about production? We have 4 drones of production. He has 1. So there you go. This is... If we let it play for a second longer here, this is the recurring effects of missing your larva. There you go. Look at this. The drone's just finished. We have a 7... So we have the same exact buildings, right? We both have... he has 1 more overlord than me. We're not supply block, though, so it's okay. It doesn't really matter that much. We have the same amount of queens. We both have a pool. We both have 3 gases. We both have a roach warren. We both have an evo chamber. We both have 3 hatcheries. Yet we're 7 drones ahead. And it's because of efficiency of larva. That's all it is. It's because it's mindset. This guy he's just kind of screwing himself over by focusing his mind on the wrong thing to learn the game faster. Like, this is why I really stress build order does not matter right now. I've said it so many times throughout bronze and silver, is because if you do stress out about the build order and you really think about it a lot, it is a distraction. And what we're trying to do here, my overall goal for teaching you guys at this stage so far is limiting every distraction I possibly can. All distractions get eliminated that are irrelevant right now, and you learn what is actually a priority. A build order is not a priority, it's a distraction right now. Just like how I was talking about walling for Terran and walling for Protoss is a distraction in bronze. I started doing it in silver a little bit, but you get my point. Like, there's so many things to this game that if I just threw Grandmaster knowledge at you all at once, you'd be like, holy shit, can you like slow down? This is crazy. Stop talking. I need to consume at least 1 piece of information. So developing good habits, guys, is a big deal. Because look at the injects again. Injects are being missed. This is, again, the priority. There's now 2 injects that are being missed. 60 energy on this queen and 50 on this one. That's huge. Look at our queens. 17, and the inject is already on the hatchery, which means it hasn't injected again yet. 17 again, and this one is not done yet. As long as you're sub 25 on your queens, you're doing great, and you're not missing injects like for minutes at a time, or 30 seconds, or 40 seconds, or 50 seconds. That's 3 injects. 3 injects right there, all queued up at once. That is, just to throw this out there. If there are 3 injects that this might enlighten somebody, okay? If we just injected 2 hatcheries, okay? 2 hatcheries injected 3 times each, okay? 2 hatcheries injected 3 times each. That is 18 larvae. But we have to subtract 6 of that, because if we're talking about he just injected it 3 times, that means that he would have had 2 already done, and the 3rd inject would have been normal, right? So instead of 18, it would be 18 minus 6, which is 12 larvae. You guys with me so far? Because instead of 6, that's 6 injects, 3 larvae each. But we have to actually take 2 of those injects away because they would have been fresh now, so they're not going to be done anyways for 30 seconds. How to get 18? Okay, I'll say it one more time. Each inject is worth 3 larvae. Each queen has over 75 energy, and each inject costs 25 energy. So inject, inject, inject. 3 injects. If we have 3 injects at 3 larvae each, that is 9 larvae per hatchery. 2 hatcheries means 18 larvae. If he just injected 3 times, that means that his 3rd inject would have been fresh, so it wouldn't be done yet. So instead of 18 larvae, even though it was 3 injects per hatchery, it's actually only 2 injects per hatchery, and there will be a 3rd one that looks like this. My point is there will be 12 larvae already, okay? There would be 12 larvae that would have not been missed had we not missed injects. And if we look at the difference of what's going on here, let's look at total units, right? In terms of units, we have 4 drones about to spawn for us, which would put us at 51. And then so that'd be 51 to 8, so that's 3 drone difference. And then for units, we have 8 roaches to his 2. And there are 4 in production, so it's going to be 8 to 6. 8 roaches to 6. Okay? So that's 2. So 3 drone difference, 2 roach difference. That's 5 larvae so far. Now, also, we have 5 larvae that just spawned off of our hatcheries that we're going to use in a second. And that's another... So that's 5 plus 5 larvae now. That's 10 larvae. You guys with me so far? And now let's look at the base really fast. Buildings-wise. There's no 4th gas. There's nothing over here. No gas-wise. There's no gas here. There's no gas here, so that's equal. But now let's look at tech. Roach Warren, Evo Chamber. Nothing else. We have Hydroden and 2nd Evo Chamber. So if we add in those last 2, that's 10 plus 2 buildings now. That's 12. That is the exact amount of difference there is between my build and his build. That means we did not miss injects, and this is all the benefits we have of it. And he did miss injects. Missing injects, my point is he could be exactly where we are right now if he didn't miss injects. That's the point I'm trying to make. It's like injects and spending your larva as soon as you get it is going to make or break you as a good or bad macro player. Because if you look at the supply will probably start ramping up really fast. Because of things like that. Like you can see it's happening again. The queens are chilling again. There we go. It was up to a point where there was 2 injects ready to go. But this is something that needs to be watched a lot. This needs to be repeatedly monitored over and over. Because if you don't repeatedly monitor it constantly, you'll start having these things where even though nothing's happened, 1 overlord's died so far, that's it, to a queen. But even though nothing's really happened, you'll start seeing these supply swings in someone else's favor. He is actually macroing fast, though. He is doing the bronze GM build. I will give him a lot of credit here. He's doing exactly what we're doing. He's going fucking hard on drones. Like, he is trying to keep up with us. But the only thing that is screwing him over is his injects. He's doing a great job, though. Like, for Silver League, this is fucking still fantastic. And now you're going to start getting this problem where if you're missing injects, you're going to start having a lot of money. See, I actually love this. This is fine. I love that there's an attempt at good economy, and here's how you fix it. We've talked about this before, but if you ever are in a situation where you're like, shit, I don't have enough larvae. Like, how many larvae are there right now? You have 10. Even if you spent all that larva, you would still have a pretty juicy bank going on. Just don't be afraid to make a macro hatch. For every 1,000 minerals there are in your bank, make that many macro hatches. So 1.6 is 1,000, in the 1,000 range. So just make 1 macro hatch. If you can't spend your larva, if you're like, fuck, I have no larva, then do it. It's fine. But yeah, overall, not bad. Props. He's doing the exact build we're doing. I love it. Helical. Helical. Well done, man, if you're listening. Good shit. Then here comes the fight. We have 2-1 versus 1-1 right now. So we're not microing this, nor honestly, nor should he, nor should he be. But what is happening though, just by chance, our army is getting a better concave. So, because you can see my concave is a lot larger than his. His is getting stuck between a hatchery and a cliff. So he has a lot less surface area to use than we do. So that is why we're getting a better trade. But again, those kinds of things come later. The real big thing is during these fights, this queen obviously died, so would be okay. But during these fights, are there going to be injects? Are there going to be more units made? That is the important part. If we go to production tab, there are 19 hydras being made. I do like that. For us, there are hydras being made as well, but let's really quickly just bounce around the queens. We have 2 injects per queen right now, and it's still going up. And for us, we have 1 inject ready to go right now. We just hit 25. This queen has 1 inject ready to go. This queen has this queen actually has 2 injects ready to go. This is actually a missed inject. And we just injected. We just injected. And we just injected. So now, what's going on over here? So look at the queen difference, right? We got 19 energy. You got 19 energy, and you got 38. So this one could inject again. This one did miss one. But then let's look at the other queens, right? You got 86. That's 3 again. And you got 76. That is also 3 again. So this is definitely a priority. This is endurance basically for you, for Zerg in general. Injecting your hatcheries and generating enough larvae to actually utilize is how you actually win the game. Spending it first because again, I've talked about this before. 2 forms of macro are generation and spending. Spending your larva early increases generation because it optimizes your build as efficiently as it can be, and you give yourself as much larva to do that with as you can. Secondly is you need to also maintain good larva generation later on to then fulfill spending of what you generate. You can't do either one of these properly if your larva is insufficient. And then, yeah, it's obviously supply kind of tells the tale. The game is going to come to an end. Larva, boys. It's important stuff. Lava. The lava. You show mostly Hydra, but is there a video where you help with the counters? Yes. There will be videos in higher level leagues. That's once again, Badger. That is a distraction. Telling people compositions is literally a distraction. If I teach someone and I go, hey man, oh, hold on, give me a second.
Take my hand and bring me to GM.
Fuck yes, yo, Serembis, thank you for the 1106. Thank you very much, dude. Let's go. Give me your hand. Come on. I'll take you to a whole new world. And Inferno, thank you for the raid, dude. I hope you had a good stream. Thank you. Guys, check this out, okay? If I teach you one thing at a time, I feel like that will stick a lot better. It'll definitely stick a lot better in your mind to be like, okay, yeah, I know what he's saying. This makes a lot of sense. He's giving me multiple examples about the same concept, and it is working repeatedly. This makes sense. As opposed to what if every single game, and I'm teaching you in fucking Bronze League, and I'm like, all right, guys, so this game, we're going to be making Zergling Baneling because it just makes more sense here. And next game, we're going to be making Roach Hydra because that makes sense. Okay, this time we're going to go for Lurkers. Next game, we're going to be going for Mutas because that actually is going to be great in this particular situation. The guy's base trading, so we're going to burrow some Banes, and we're going to go into Ultras. I keep switching it up. No one's going to be able to follow that, and they're all going to be like, wait, what the fuck is going on? Like, I don't understand anything that you're saying. That's stuff that comes later. It goes step by step, okay? Step 1 is learning how to play a proper game. If you don't have if you don't have an efficiency to your build, don't think about it when I say build, okay? Do not think about me when I say build as like, okay, this is the list and I gotta know my exact build. I'm not actually referencing a particular build, okay? It's vague. Like, the way you play the game is what I'm talking about. If you can't play the game at an efficient pace Everything you do doesn't make sense. I want everyone to just believe that. Nothing you do makes any sense if you cannot play efficiently. It just doesn't make any sense. You cannot get proper examples of games until you can actually play the game efficiently. And you cannot play the game efficiently until you understand core values of each race, which is, for Zerg, spin your larva as fast as you can and generate as much as you can. You have to do that. If you do not do that, your build does not make sense. Like, you can theory craft all you want, but your build just doesn't work then. Is what that means. Okay, so what do we're against random, so who knows. I think I had more that I was gonna say there, but I kinda forgot what I was talking about now. I'm sorry, boys. Sorry, I'm reading chat and I'm also thinking about this at the same time. It's really distracting to me. Okay, so we see no natural, right? We see no natural, so let's go ahead and be safe about this. And let's just start a spine crawler. I know there's a Reaper, and I know people would freak out and be like, make Zerglings! That'll come later, not right now. You can literally just make a spine, because he doesn't have a natural. This is all we're doing so far. No natural, make a spine, do your build as is. Take a little bit of a later third, and you're good to go. We're not gonna micro drones either. If he kills a drone, he kills a drone. But look, we're still fine. Go ahead and inject your hatcheries. I didn't make a single Zergling, and we're great. I lost nothing. So now, we're going to put it in the front of my base. And we still see there's no natural, so we now know there's a potential chance for aggression because there's no natural. We didn't see a natural, but this spine will help us with that. The spine will be great. It'll definitely thwart some aggression if it does end up happening. Go to inject. Inject. Overlord's gonna pop in just a second, and drones are spent. Now we got some extra money we can't spend right now, so let's go ahead and make a roach warren and an evo chamber. And we can also start a creep tumor while we're at it. Okay, we're just again looking at injects, making drones, injects, making drones. Look at my supply. We can make an overlord. Injects, making drones. That's all we care about. And now, once we spent the drones, now let's look at what we need. Oh, gases or minerals fully saturated. Let's make some gases. Cool beans. Roach warren's about done. We're fully saturated. Let's go ahead and start our third base, while simultaneously start making some roaches up to like 10 roaches again, or 8 roaches. We'll just make 8 this game. So we've made 3 just now. Mental note of that. I need to make 3 more. Or Jesus. I made 3 just now. I need to make 5 more. I know how to do math. So 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 more roach. 5. Okay, let's grab our drones. Saturate the gas. And let's saturate our third base. Grab 1 drone because we're over by 1. Send it to the third. Let's go ahead and get roach speed, and soon we'll also get attack. Boom. Check my queens. What are the injects looking like? Let's also start a 4th queen now because we have extra money. And we do want a 4th queen at this stage now because we're actually starting to work on creep spread. So inject. Inject. Make drones. Make another overlord. And throw a creep tumor down. Creep tumor down. And creep tumor down. And we can even throw 1 more creep tumor down. Why not? We'll just put it into our main. Let's put it anywhere. Connect all your bases. This is connect 3 right now. Okay, let's make another overlord. We're about to supply block. Let's make even 2 right now. Why not? Now we have a new creep spreading queen. We'll send this queen up here to the top. Why not? It doesn't matter where you send it. Just send it somewhere to spread creep. And let's inject. Inject. And inject. It's almost energy. So we make drones, and now we try it again, and we inject it. Now let's go and start another base, because this base is basically fully saturated. Let's also grab some drones that spawn next and make a hydrogen, make a evo chamber, a second one, and also just make the last gas in my main base. Because we have great saturation, we're not deviating from good saturation to make these really early. We're not making these off of like barely 2 base saturation. We're making these off of a nice, healthy 60 to 70 amount of drones. Shitloads of drones right now. So make a couple gases, we can inject, 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 and creep, 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 and creep. And drone count is almost done. We're at 77, guys. 77. Let's go ahead and grab some drones. 3. Re-rally my hatcheries to this new hatchery. And let's even start another base. Make some overlords. We're almost supply blocked. Let's go and start upgrades. Mutation complete. Start upgrades, boys. Attack. Carapace. Get both hydro upgrades. We're good. Now let's inject. 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 Transfer over 7 drones and also make drones. We're at 82. 82 is, we'll make a couple more drones because we'll make 2 more drones because we're making 2 of them into gas. We're still at 82. Now let's start making mass hydras. And let's go to our creep. And as soon as we're done creeping, what are we going to do next? We're going to look at our hatcheries to inject. Because it's been a little bit and we need to keep maintaining that. Inject. 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 That should always be in the forefront of your mind. Injects and creep spread. Injects, creep spread. Injects, creep spread. And every once in a while be like, oh yeah, units. Do I need to upgrade right now? Do I need to do this? Meanwhile, in your mind, your hands go like this. 5 SD, 5 SD, 5 SD, 5 SD. You check the drone count, you're like, alright, 2 base fully saturated. Let's make the roaches like we did. 5 SD, 5 SD. Drones are around 80. Okay, let's make hydras. Now it's 5 SH, 5 SH. Let's go and inject, inject, inject. Make hydras. Go ahead and drop off some drones at a new base again. We can make 1 go here and 1 can go here. Cool beans. Good shit. Let's go ahead and take another base as well because we're going to start oversaturating that other base too here pretty soon because if this base is mining out, it means that this base is going to start mining out in a little bit, probably in a minute. So if we start another base, it gives us, you know, this base can become fully saturated and then we have another base to transfer drones to. It's fine. It also gives us larva too. So we can make hydras and we just spent our money. Now let's go back and inject, guys. It's been a little bit. Inject. 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 Let's make this into a gas. We're actually needing gas right now pretty badly. So we just made the gas and we just made 3 drones for it. Call it a day. Easy. Now let's inject again and then let's creep spread. Inject. 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 Creep. While we creep, make hydras. We're max supply. Creep. 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 Take your time. Do it as fast as you can. You'll get faster at it over time. And you're good. 3 drones missing on the main. Good job. You know, that's something we should be looking at, right? Fuck. It's not the end of the world if we do that, but that's a good call, right? That is something we should look at and fix. But we have so many fucking drones that it's not game ending for us. It's not like, ah, man, my gas wasn't mine. That's why I lost the game. Those are things you will fix over time. You will definitely make them better. Make macro hatches. Well, here's the thing, right? You totally can make macro hatches right now. We'll make 3 of them because we have 3,000 minerals. But it's okay if your money ramps up really hard if you're max supply. Okay? Because you can't spend it then. So we'll inject, we'll inject, we'll inject. Let's go ahead and do a shift A move. Oh wait, just kidding, he's attacking us. Let's just select our army, attack that way.
Inject, inject, creep, 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 creep.
Mm-hmm. That's right. You know the learning song for Zerg. Let's go ahead and start a hive and a carapace upgrade. Look at my supply. And my drone count. We lost some drones. Let's make some new ones. So just make them for this base over here. Drone count now is 84. I like it. Let's make hydras again. Inject. 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 Creep, 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 creep. Are we allowed to micro yet? No. No, you're not. If you micro right now, you're doing it wrong. Because again, that's a distract. That is, here's the thing, right? There's levels of distractions. Okay, let's just say the higher my hand goes, the bigger the distraction is. If this is macro, okay, if this is like your full level of focus, and this hand over here represents distractions levels. If I go, okay, make workers and don't supply block and also inject your bases. This hand doesn't exist. It just falls off the screen, okay? That's what happens. This stays really high. And now let's say I go like this. You're like your Silver League, and I'm like, all right, I need you to scout his base. It goes like this then. Like it just kind of fucking takes your attention away from macro and puts a lot more into scouting. You don't need to be doing that. We just need to be scouting his initial expansion, which takes like no fucking attention of your time. It literally is easy as hell. You're like, oh, he expanded, cool. Oh, he didn't expand, cool. The difference is we make a spine, or we don't make a spine. That's it. Now, if you do something like you say, I need to worry about my build order, and I need to think about my build order and what's the build. Okay, so let me get my post-it note out and be like, fucking 42 supply roach warren. Okay, let me do that. Once again, it makes you think about other shit and it distracts you and it takes your mind away from priorities that are actually important. It kind of balances you out in terms of like your attention, which all it does is fucking ruins your mindset of actually paying attention to things like injects, like we just talked about in the previous game. So going back, now let's talk about micro. You stare at your army and you're like this, for instance. We'll go back to this point when this happened. Right here. The Terran attacks. We defend with our army, but we micro it. I'm going to tell you right now, people in low league don't micro at all. All they do is repeatedly spam a move, okay? That is what happens. That's okay. But let's just say hypothetically, I am staring at this army, okay? Like this. I'm staring at this army. My macro's up here, my micro's down here. As soon as I start microing, I spend all my time looking at my army and 0 time macroing until the fight's over. And if you guys want a realistic example of that, check this out. Watch this. Look at the production tab. Do you see how it's really flowing for both of us right now? I'm maxed out. He is, he's at 100 supply. He's half of my supply right now. And the reason why is because of efficiency of workers. That is, again, the bronze thing we learned already. It's really important. But let's look at production. Now, what I imagine is going to happen is I imagine when this fight starts for us both, my production will maintain to a point. Like, what we could be doing right now is literally holding down the Hydra key. We're still going to have a lot of larva. Look at the larva we have. 30 fucking larva. I'm maxed out with 30 larva in the bank. I can remake 60 supply immediately right now if I wanted to. That's a lot. Now, let's look at the Terran, right? He's got a Marine, a tank, a couple Liberators, a couple SCVs, another Command Center, armor upgrade. Now let's watch. Watch the production tabs.
Upgrade.
This fight is about to commence. Also, here's the thing too, right? I want to make this one last thing clear. If we also look down here at the control group area, the bottom middle, this is what he is currently selecting.
Upgrade.
Okay.
Complete.
So he's selecting a Widow Mine, Marines,
Base is under attack.
So how long was that fight? We'll say it starts at 9:40. At 9:40 until it was what is it? 10:20? 10:10. From 9:40 to 10:10. That's 30 seconds. That was 30 seconds where he wasn't really producing anything. And then he starts a couple Marines and a couple of reactors right now. This is very standard for a lower level player. This is very standard. He's focused everything on trying to take the best fight that he can, but trying to focus all of your attention on all these tasks that don't matter is going to just make you lose every fight versus someone who just focuses on one task with all of their fucking mental capacity for StarCraft at this point in time. Because it's going to be a situation like you're a 100 supply player fighting against someone else who is maxed out. And you're like, God damn, it doesn't matter. I could be literally innovation right now, and I could micro like a god, and I'll still die. Or whoever. Put any Terran's name you want in there. Any player. If you have an army supply that is just not big enough, and doesn't matter how good you are at microing it, you're going to lose. Like, you're going to lose that fight. Maybe not the game. You might, if you just had a pro gamer sit down, sure, he could probably turn it around. But if you take that one fight, if I'm trying to beat, okay, for instance, if I have 10 roaches and I'm trying to beat 10 immortals with 10 roaches, It doesn't matter how good I can micro that. I'm fucking dead. I'm going to die. However, if I have 10 immortals is my enemy army and I have 40 roaches, I'll totally beat that. It doesn't matter how hard he micros, he'll most likely lose. It just comes down to efficiency of your opener. So spending your time microing, again, is not necessary right now. And the reason why, again, this is the biggest reason why, it's because if this guy, I would say this guy could totally micro. I would say that this Terran player right now, I'm on board. I'm giving him a thumbs up. I would give him a big fucking double thumbs up, okay? If his money never went above 600 right now. Look at his money. It's not above 600, right? It's okay. But watch his, now I want you to stare here. Just watch this money. Watch how it just goes up the whole time.
Base is under attack.
Fight's over, and now it starts getting spent again. That does not mean you multitask. That means that you literally single task. You tunnel vision one thing at a time. Because you don't know how to handle your priorities, and you haven't developed good habits. These two right here. That is what that means. If you are the player that literally just abandons all macro when you take other tasks at hand and then you go back to it later, that's not proper gameplay. You know what would have been proper gameplay? I'll tell you right now. Watch. If this guy, right here, right now, he's moving in. He's setting up the fight.
Complete.
He burrows a widow mine. He hits number 3, makes Marines. He hits 4, makes a tank. Hits 5, makes whatever, or hits whatever, 2, 3, 4. He hits his unit control groups. He makes shit. Now he goes back to controlling his army. He moves his army in. And then, again, right now, he stims. He issues a command. He doesn't need to watch this army anymore. He goes back and he makes more shit. He makes SCVs. He does something. Like, you can literally macro without looking at your base. But players in low league do not toggle things like that. They literally focus one thing at a time.
Base is under attack.
And look at production for Zerg here. Notice how the Zerg supply is 200 supply. The fight just ended. This is the final way we'll talk about this. Terran shows up, okay? This is kind of my point I'm trying to make here. Terran shows up. Zerg is at we'll just say 200 because it's about to be. And then versus Terran who's at 113. Right? Look.
Base is under attack.
Okay, fight's over. Everything just died. Except for this one widow mine. The fight started at 200 versus 113. The fight ended at 200 versus 60. And again, what that means is that there was a lot of production not being utilized. Because you should not have this much fucking money if you're not even close to maxing out. That's the point. You just don't want to micro right now. It's not necessary. It's distracting. It'll fuck you over. It'll mess you up. And guess what, guys? We got gold 3. I hope. And now in gold 3, we're going to ramp it up a little bit more again. But I hope this helps. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope I'm blowing your minds at least a little bit. And you're like, okay, yeah, ViBE, that makes a lot of sense. I gotta develop those habits. I gotta learn those priorities because it's very important. I'm just gonna say this before we sign off here for this video. The priorities that I'm teaching you right now and the habits that I want you to develop, they don't go away even when you're in GM. They're permanent. It's not something that is like only for Silver League or only for Bronze League and then that's it. Learning how to maintain upkeep of your base and maintenance takes you all the way to Grandmaster League. And it's required to be, it is literally required to even be in Grandmaster League. Everybody in GM has those down at least to a certain degree. And that's it. Yo guys, thank you for watching. I will see you in Gold League. So until then, have a good one. Much love. Peace.